So we are going to go ahead. Oh, there's my microphone. We're going to go ahead and get started in the interest of everybody's time. We will start off with some brief introductions. My name is Diana Rumsey. I am the chair of the MCC and your at-large member. And then we'll just start with the folks in the room here. And so I will pass it to my right, which is the amazingly talented Sagan.
Thank you, Deanna. My name is Sagan Faulkner, and I am the grant writer and outreach and development manager at Invita.
Melissa Martz with the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging.
Valerie Anders with Silver Key.
There you go.
Thank you. Mary Wagner, Cripple Creek Transportation.
And then we will just popcorn around. So Kristen, do you want to start us off? And then I'll let you pass it off to somebody else online.
Hi, Kristen Amundsen with Goodwill. And then I have Jared next that I see.
I'm in the room. I'm in here twice, so I'll go ahead and just pass it off to Jacob.
My bad, Jared. Of course
you're
you're
good.
there. Thanks.
Yep, Jacob Matson, Mountain Metro Transit, and I will pass it off to, let's go with Paul.
And Paul, if
Paul, sorry, go ahead.
But I'd probably the same thing. You're right, Paul. If you're talking, you're muted, and we can't hear you.
Hello, Paul from the Independence Center. Sorry about that, guys.
Now we can hear you. Thank you.
Yep.
Diana, do you want to go next?
Good morning, Diana Van Auken, Teller Senior Coalition.
All right, Raquel?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Raquel Dominguez. I am with Sloan Teller Strategies, and I'm excited to be here. I missed you guys last month because I had surgery, so I apologize about that.
No worries. Those are all my squares that I can see. Who's next? Oh, okay. Now I can see more folks. Yeah, Janelle? And then we have an external phone number if that individual wants to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi.
Good morning. Is that Rebecca?
It is. Uh-huh.
Okay. So then that would be Rebecca Shields.
Correct.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, welcome everyone. I believe we have everybody. Okay, so we can move on to the next piece. And we do have a quorum established. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the agenda as it currently sits?
Kristen Amundsen, motion to approve.
Thank you so much, Kristen. And do I have a second?
Raquel Dominguez, motion to approve.
So just clarification, since Raquel is not a member yet.
Right. So if I could get another second, Raquel, and then once we vote on you, then you would be more than welcome to, but we're not quite there yet. So can I get another second to approve the agenda as it currently sits?
Diana Van Auken, I'll second that.
Thank you so much. All right, so I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as it currently sits. All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any, thank you. Any opposed? All right. Seeing nor hearing, no opposition, we will move to approve the agenda as it currently sits. All right. We're moving right along. So approval of the minutes from the September meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes from the September 26th meeting?
Val with Silver Key, approved.
Fantastic. So I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second on that motion to approve the minutes from the September meeting?
Kristen Amundson, second.
Thank you so much. All right, so I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from the September 26th meeting as they currently sit. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, seeing nor hearing no opposition to the approval of the minutes from the September 26th meeting, we will go ahead and approve those. All right, fantastic. On to the next piece, which would be public comments and presentations.
So I think that's a little bit further for Sagan, but or maybe not. Oh, it's the NVIDIA report out. Okay, so I'll go ahead and give my spiel. For anyone who's online who would like to provide public comment, please use the raise hand function. Let us know that you would like to make public comment. I see no other members of the public in the room here, and while we are waiting for anyone to raise their hand online, I will just let everyone know that we did not receive any advance requests for public comment or receive any written public comment for this meeting. I see no hands raised, so I believe we are good to move on with your grace, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jared. Okay, so we're on to then action items. Member appointments. So we have Raquel online from TRE. She is the TRE representative appointment.
You opportunity for there to introduce.
All right, Jared is just keeping me on track. So Raquel, if you would like to introduce yourself to the group, that would be incredibly appreciated.
Sure. My name is Raquel Dominguez. I have been on the TRE board for 6 months. I am vice chair of the Colorado CASA State Board as well. I have a background in industrial psychology, and I'm a former social worker. I was in private practice and decided to pursue a doctorate in industrial psychology. I have my office in Old Colorado City, and I have 2 beautiful children, 15 and 6, a boxer that you'll probably see here in a little bit that follows me everywhere I go, and my husband, who is a federal agent. We came here in 2018 from Laredo, Texas. We were stationed there for a long time, so we were glad to get out of the border and come to Colorado. And I absolutely love it here, and I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of that. All right, so do I have a motion to vote on the appointment of Raquel Dominguez for the TRE seat?
So moved.
Okay, so I have a motion to move that forward. Do I have a second?
Kristen Amundson, second.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So then we have the motion and a second to move the appointment forward. We're going to take a vote at this time. So all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Seeing nor hearing, no opposition to the appointment of Raquel Dominguez to the TRE seat. We will go ahead and move that forward. Congratulations, Raquel, and welcome to the group.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. I do not believe Kevin Worley is with us today, so we will go ahead and move on to the next item of business, which would be the community guest and provider presentation, which will today be given by Sagan from Envita. So Sagan, I will let you take it from there.
Thank you, Deanna. Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Sagan Faulkner, and I am the Grant Writer and Outreach and Development Manager at Invita. And today I'm going to be talking about our on-demand pilot program. Next slide, please. And then next slide, please. But before I jump into the on-demand pilot program, I first wanted to provide some background information on Invita. So Invita has been a nonprofit organization since 1971. So we've been in the community for about 50 years now, and we provide both transportation and home care services. And we primarily serve older adults, individuals with disabilities, people of low income, and also other disadvantaged populations in the community. We also launch innovative programs to promote access, such as the on-demand pilot program that I'll be discussing in today's presentation. And we also develop and expand community partnerships with other nonprofit organizations in the community to better serve the community. Next slide, please. And next slide again. So Invita was awarded funding from the PPACG to implement an on-demand pilot program that can be replicated and expanded in the future throughout El Paso County and also throughout the country. And this program provides it provides same-day transportation to both older adults and individuals with disabilities. And something that's unique about this program is that it's not just for medical appointments. So it can be used for medical appointments, shopping, social activities, and just any other spontaneous community or any other spontaneous activity in the community, just as long as it's within a 7-mile radius from where the individual is being picked up from. And this program is actually available every day of the week, so Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. The first phase of the program was January 1st through June 30th, and it was successful. So we're currently in the second phase of the program, which started July 1st and ends December 31st. And in these photos, you'll actually see one photo of our driver at the top, and then in the second photo, you'll see one of our program participants with that same driver. Next slide, please. All right, so as part of the on-demand pilot program, we established a steering committee, and the purpose of that, or the reason why the steering committee was formed, was to provide advice and direction for the program. And the steering committee consisted of a diverse group of individuals who actually participated in the program. So in phase one, we would typically meet anywhere between 1 to 2 times a month, and we would discuss items like, how many rides we delivered that month, what kind of challenges our participants were facing, what kind of feedback our participants had. And our steering committee members actually created questions for our pre-program survey, our mid-program check-in phone call, and our post-program survey. And they also provided feedback to me directly, and I would relay that information or that feedback to Invita staff. And in these two photos, in the top, or actually in both photos, you'll see some of our program participants. Next slide, please. All right, so what did implementation look like for the program? Well, the program launched in January of this year, and there were 50 participants that were both hand-selected and self-selected. And this included older adults, individuals with disabilities, and individuals of varying backgrounds. And something that we made sure to do was to remain in contact with our participants, both leading up to the program and also throughout the program. And in the beginning of our on-demand pilot program, very few people use the program, but this is to be expected with any pilot program. And, or actually, next slide, please. So to better illustrate the implementation of our program, I have a graph here that shows the number of rides that we were able to deliver each month. So you'll see the months January through June, which is phase one, and then July through September, which is the first 3 months of phase two. In January, we were able to provide 15 rides, in February 51, March 58, April 74, May 137, June 225, July 181, August 189, and our most recent month of September 146 rides. Next slide, please. All right. So as far as marketing for the program, we really wanted to determine who was going to benefit most from this program. So several program participants included individuals from the Independence Center. And I briefly touched on a mid-program check-in phone call. So I reached out to all of our program participants over the phone and I asked questions such as, are you using the program? If you're not using the program, why aren't you using the program? And some of the people that I spoke with actually said that maybe they lost the number to the program, or they forgot that they were enrolled in the program, or maybe they just no longer required required the service. So when that happened, I asked if those individuals would be willing to give their spot in the program to another person, and those individuals were willing to do that. So when that happened, I actually reached out to both Gratio Housing and New Vision. And when I reached out to Gratio Housing, they actually advertised us in their June newsletter. And then the founder of New Vision also referred several of its members to our program. So from both Gratio Housing and New Vision, I was able to enroll about 15 to 20 new participants in the month of April. All right, next slide, please. All right, and then in April as well, the National Aging and Disability Transportation Center, also known as the NADTC, came to Colorado Springs for a site visit, and they were in town for a couple of days. And as far as the first day, we met at the Independence Center. It was me, a member of the Independence Center, some members of the PPACG, and our steering committee. And we kind of just went around the table, and our steering committee members were able to talk about why they use transportation, challenges that they face with transportation in the community. And I was able to talk about the successes and the challenges that we've experienced with the program. And then on day 2, the NADTC had a photo shoot with both our program participants and VITA staff. And since they wanted to see the program in motion and just see how our program participants were using the program, we actually took some of our program participants to Old Colorado City to Jive's Coffee Lounge. And in these photos, you'll see several more of our program participants. Next slide, please. All right, so what did successes of the program look like? Well, the program really illustrated the need for on-demand transportation. And in phase 1, we were able to deliver 560 rides for medical appointments, grocery shopping, religious services, and other activities in the community. And this transportation also provided individuals with greater independence and freedom. And as I mentioned before, this service wasn't just limited to medical appointments. It could be used for any spontaneous activity, anything short notice, anything last minute or unexpected that were to come up. We received positive feedback from participants, and early adopters of the service actually promoted the benefits of the program. So they would talk about this program to their friends, and those people would actually give me a phone call, and I would be able to enroll those people that were interested in the program. Next slide, please. So some of the challenges that we faced with implementing the program were staffing shortages and turnover, extended hours and weekend hours, because like I mentioned previously, the program is available every day of the week, 8 until 8. So we needed to be available outside of our normal business hours. And it was also difficult for us to provide rides between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. and 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. And this was just due to our commitment to providing transportation for both day programs and dialysis appointments. We also experienced extreme weather conditions. So the program was implemented in January of this year. So we had snow, we had icy roads, sub-zero temperatures. So that was another challenge of the program. And like I mentioned previously as well, when I did that mid-program check-in phone call, some participants did say that they forgot that they were enrolled in the program or they lost the number. Some of them were restricted by the 7-mile radius from their pickup location. Others no longer required the service, and some people I was unable to reach at all. And for the people that I was not able to reach, I actually still kept them enrolled in the program just in case they called the program and still needed service. So I didn't remove those individuals. Next slide, please.
You're seeing the limitations of our internet. Give it a sec. Or let's just reset it real quick. There we go.
Awesome. Thank you. So how did we measure our performance for the program? Well, we used both quantitative and qualitative data. For quantitative data, on a monthly basis, we would report the number of rides that we delivered each month. And then for qualitative data, this included our pre-program survey, our mid-program check-in phone call, and our post-program survey and a focus group. And as far as the post-program survey and focus group, both of those were actually conducted by the PPACG. And we also received, or feedback was given directly to our steering committee and passed along to me as well directly. Next slide. Thank you. And I just wanted to share some of the feedback that we received from the program. So these are quotes by 3 different individuals or 3 different of our program participants. So the first one says, I used the pilot program this past weekend and had a wonderful experience. I went to Coal Mine Dragon, to the store to buy nail polish, to Petco to buy kitty litter, and then grocery shopping. I got to do everything I wanted to that day and I felt normal. My driver treated me like a friend and was kind and helpful. At one point, some of my groceries spilled and the driver helped me pick up the items. And the next one says, you have amazing programs with all your transportation programs. I feel like I have my independence back. I am very grateful. You have a wonderful team. And the last one I wanted to share is the on-demand pilot program has been incredibly helpful and life-changing. Something that the program allows me to do that I'm unable to do with other transportation providers is run multiple errands in a day. If I'm only going to be somewhere for a short amount of time, the drivers wait for me, and I am grateful for this. And just one other thing I wanted to touch on before I end my presentation is NVIDIA is actually in the process of working with the PPACG right now and also our steering committee. And we're going to be reaching out to our program participants soon. And we hope to be moving into phase 3 at the start of the new year. So January 1st, we're hoping to move into phase 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sagan, for that presentation. That was very helpful. Any questions from any of the members today?
I have a question. Did you gather any financial data? So this is Val with Silver Key. So how was it for NVIDIA financially to be able to provide this? Were the funds that you were allowed enough to provide these rides? That makes sense.
So the funding that we have received for phase 1 was definitely enough to run the program. And then as far as phase 2, I know that there's a little bit of, or some of the funding isn't covering all of the costs of the operations, but we're still able to, or we actually reached out to the PPACG and they did provide us additional funding. So with that additional funding, we should be able to continue through December 31st for phase 2.
Great.
Yeah.
And was there any request from the participants to provide a donation or anything that they had to participate in the funding?
So that's definitely something that the program participants could have done if they were able to, but it wasn't a requirement or anything, but yeah.
Any other questions? Oh, go ahead.
Hi, Sagan. It's Diana from Teller Senior Coalition. Looks like an awesome program. I just wondering, did you have a lot of requests on the weekends, or did you see an increase from your usual weekend rides?
There were some requests for weekend rides, but I would say typically ride requests were for Monday through Friday. And mostly weekend rides were requested for religious services for the most part on Sundays. But other than that, I would say typically ride requests were for Monday through Friday, but we did receive requests for the weekends as well.
Wonderful. And so you'll be continuing the program this coming year? Is that the plan?
Yes, so we are communicating with the PPACG right now as to what that's going to look forward or what that's going to look like moving forward into phase 3. But we are looking to enter phase 3 January 1st of next year. Yep.
I'd like to say something about that program. I was a participant on that program, and I just want to say that one thing, it helps for people who have multiple errands to run in a day where you can get 2 and 3 things done, possibly 4, depending on what they are. And like you said, the drivers, they would wait for you if you weren't going to be in there for an extreme amount of time. And that's compared to like taking Metro, where you have to schedule your ride and you're only getting maybe 2 things done in a day. But this provides you to get multiple tasks done throughout your day. And so it's very helpful, very useful for that reason. And I just want to put that out there.
Thank you, Paul.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. So seeing and hearing none, thank you so much, Sagan, again, for that amazing presentation. And then we're just going to keep on moving down the list. So the next piece up is training, information sharing, and coordination opportunities. This is one of my favorite parts of the meeting. First of all, we'll start off with the determining the November-December meeting and the driver appreciation. This is a wonderful opportunity for us to give back and let our drivers know how much we appreciate all of their time, talents, and effort. They are out there all the time doing incredibly challenging work, and we really, really appreciate them. So we need to set that event on the calendar and then determine the November-December meetings. So if we look at the calendar, the November meeting will actually be taking place technically the week after Thanksgiving. That would be that Tuesday, the 28th, I believe. And then, of course, the December meeting would fall much later in the year, and that gets a little challenging because of holidays and people's vacation time. So we want to be cognizant of those pieces. So, so looking ahead, what is the group feeling on the November meeting? Do we want to keep it that November 28th? The Tuesday after Thanksgiving? Are there strong feelings to move that meeting? Okay, so then
So is this up for discussion?
it is up for discussion.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there a possibility that we could have one meeting, a November-December meeting, and maybe at the beginning of December instead of having a November and a December?
Absolutely. So historically, that is the route we have taken. No pun intended. And so we can certainly have that discussion about moving it to, I think historically we've done it kind of the very beginning of December. So like the first or second week. So is that kind of the consensus of the group? Is that what we would like to see happen? I'm seeing some heads nodding. If I can get some kind of electronic thumbs up, that would also probably be helpful. So if that is the direction that we are thinking of going in, all right, I'm seeing some thumbs up, fantastic. So yes, we can certainly have that discussion. So then if we're looking to, well, first of all, is there any opposition to combining the November-December meeting? I want to just kind of put that out there. Okay. I see no and hear no opposition to moving that piece forward. So let's look at then kind of combining the November, December meetings. And if we look at the calendar, I will say that our options are, and then I also want to I'm going to rely on Melissa to let us know, because I don't want to also kind of bump into other meetings that may be happening here at that time. So if we're looking at December, the first Tuesday would be December 5th, and then the second Tuesday would be December 12th.
I think either are okay.
Okay, so Melissa is letting us know that on the calendar for PPACG, both of those dates are open. Let's talk about December 5th then. So a little earlier rather than later in the month. And then that way we can kind of tag on to some of the November business that might be needed. So if we look at November 5th, is there anybody who...
Or December 5th.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much.
No worries.
December 5th. Is there any strong opposition to a December 5th meeting? And that would be at the same time, 9:30 to 11. No? Okay. Seeing nor hearing none, let us plan on doing December 5th, 9:30 to 11. We will also roll into the Driver Appreciation Day as well. So, all right. Do I need to take a motion? No. Okay. Melissa is saying, nope, we're good to go. All right. So then December 5th will be our next gathering for Driver Appreciation and our meeting. Fantastic. And then we're also going to move. So the next piece of business would be chair roles for 2024. Okay, so right now we're at the stage of please think about if you would be interested in taking on a chair role within the committee. And then when we reconvene in December, we can have that discussion further. So just kind of, noodle over it and think about if that's something you're interested in doing. Okay, fantastic. So then the next piece is information sharing. So this is an opportunity for us to kind of share out with one another things that are on our calendar within our organization, fun events, things that we would like each other to kind of participate and celebrate with us alongside. So I will open it up to the floor to kind of share out what are some things on the calendar moving forward that might be of interest that we might be able to support one another. And feel free to just kind of take yourself off mute and jump on in if you have something you'd like to share.
I'll pop on and got a little kind of, I guess, a brief update. So we've kicked off both the regional transit plan as well as our specialized transportation plan. This is a planning process that's going to take approximately about a year from start to finish. But one thing we'll be looking forward to the next couple of months is kind of developing more of a stakeholder engagement. So for those of you that are interested, I believe in the past that we've talked about the long range transportation plan, and I know some of you are involved with that, and all these are kind of working together. So the regional transit plan and the specialized transportation plan will work their way into the long range transportation plan. So if you're interested in being involved with any of those, feel free to reach out to myself, but we'll really be looking to get that stakeholder engagement in the next couple of months. I'm really looking to go to the community in the early part of next year is kind of the plan right now. So we're trying to be conscious of some of what the weather patterns, could hold, but there is a certain timing and a deadline that these projects have to be done, these plans rather have to be done in time to go into the long range transportation plan and get the various projects from those plans in there, which that plan needs to be completed by the end of January of 2025. And while it seems like a long way out, it's we're moving along this process along pretty quickly. So just want to put that plug in there. I don't know. I think I saw Laura, you were able to listen in, but you weren't able to comment. But if Laura's available, or if anyone from PPACG wants to provide anything on that, I think that might be helpful.
Thanks, Jacob. I know Laura was on earlier, but she's in a meeting up in Denver and she did have to get off. So, and I know that we always look forward to updating that plan and having all the meetings and all of the input. So looking forward to a busy year as we continue to gather more information and make the changes to that 25-year document that we have to keep our eyes on every year. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, this is Mark Bowers with Found Valley Senior Center. We are going to be hosting, along with the Colorado State Department of Health, a COVID flu shot clinic on the 8th of November, which is a Wednesday here at the Senior Center. It'll be from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And so it is kind of late in the season for that. But if you know of any seniors that at that point in time that may need to get those, then you can send those down to us. And it'll be, they can make reservations through the state website, but they can do a walk-in also. So.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
I just had a comment. So we were notified that United Way has additional funding for through Lyft. So if anyone can't provide a ride, they can you call 211 or direct the client to 211 and they can do next day rides through Lyft. So it would have to be someone that didn't need assistance, but they do have funding, which was new to me. I didn't know that they had that. So
that's great. Thank you so much. Anyone else?
Deanna, it's Diana. I don't have an update, but I do have a question. Will you be sending out, or will Melissa be sending out information regarding the driver appreciation? Just curious, will breakfast be served? Is it going to be a potluck? And is the first of the meeting going to be driver appreciation so the drivers are able to leave and get back on the road? Or how we're going to organize all that? So just curious. Thank you.
Now, that's a great question. Yes, absolutely. All of that information will be forthcoming, and then everybody can kind of plan accordingly. So thank you so much for kind of prompting that, and we will definitely make sure to get that out to everybody. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share or any last questions? Oh, sure. I'm totally okay with that. Melissa has asked if I could share out kind of what my new role is at my new job. So I am currently the program operations manager at the Rocky Mountain Public Health Training Center. The training center is the regional training center connected to Region 8. So we do all trainings in the public health realm for Montana, North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, and Colorado. So it is a huge reach. It is connected to Region 8 of the Department of Health and Human Services. And we are collaborative partners with all kinds of grantees, folks who are working on things for the CDC, certainly DHS, and then more kind of local and regional pieces. So if you ever have any questions related to training, we are happy to assist with technical assistance, with collaborative grants, all of those kinds of pieces. And so certainly within the transportation realm, there's lots of stuff that impacts, and transportation is absolutely a public health issue. So that's kind of all what I'm doing these days. All right. So seeing no further questions or comments or share outs, we will move on to the items for the next meeting, which it looks like the next meeting is going to be predominantly centered around driver appreciation. Whoop, whoop. super exciting. And then just kind of wrapping up board business for the end of the year and also discussing chair roles moving into the 2024 calendar year. So if there are other issues that you would like us to raise or address during the next meeting, please feel free to send those out to us. We would be happy to discuss those and put those on the calendar if they need to be. Otherwise, we will adjourn. I will let you have, oh, it's only 10:10, my word. All right, well, go forth, have a beautiful day, enjoy this beautiful weather while we have it. And thank you so much for your time this morning.